look at that. £4.50. You want to be Germany, do you? Okay. I mean, have we got any bankers present? Any bankers in? Banker and accountant, someone who understands. Up there. You're an accountant. Good girl. What's your name, love? Mandy. Mandy is handy with figures. Good girl. Now, Mandy, if I go to a bank to set up a business, right, they'll run some checks on me, won't they? Yeah. Of course they will, right? So you think whoever set up the euro must have done some checks. They do checks on you, Mike, if you wanted to borrow money, on you, Dave, if you want to borrow, on you, Paul. They do Stu, they do checks on all of us. Obviously, in my case, because I've died in 4 consecutive pub fires, for tax and insurance purposes, it's a little more difficult. But you just click the terms and conditions box on a website and the West happens. Now, the point is, right? Yeah, whoever set the euro up must have done some checks. They must have done a couple of checks. Perhaps on Greece, for instance, just to pick a name out of the hat. Maybe they checked that Greece, in its history, has defaulted, has gone bankrupt as a country 5 fucking times. In 1824, 1843, 1860, 1890 and 1932. You'd think they might have known that. You'd think they might have known the last time Greece was in a currency union, the Latin currency union, that ran to 1932. Greece was kicked out in 1908 for fiddling the fucking books and borrowing more money than it could afford to pay back. You'd think someone might have fucking checked. No. Much more complicated than that. Now, the thing is... But I'm going to try and explain the euro now. I'm going to try and do it, right? Because it's difficult to understand. We've got Plod here. We want him to be able to get to the scene of the crime as quickly as possible. So, I'm going to explain it in terms that our special squad can understand. So, the front row, you are now the mighty nations of Europe. All of you are now the mighty nations of Europe. I want to get your loose change out. Your smallest shrapnel, just the tiniest bits of pieces you've got. Get your loose change out now. You are now the mighty nations of Europe, embarking on a single currency plan. I am the European Central Bank, right? I'm just going to come and pop down here. OK, cough up. Come on. And you, love. You haven't got any money, of course not. Teacher, pleading. Chuck it in, good boy. Across we come. Here we go, love. Excellent, good man. Cool, look at the size of that unit. Jesus. I didn't do it, officer. Okay. Come on, love. Mike hasn't got any money on him. Chuck it in. Oh, look at that. £4.50. You want to be Germany, do you? Okay. Come on. You haven't got any. Okay. Here we go. Chuck it in. Thanks, mate. Okay. Fantastic. Don't worry about it. Okay. Fantastic. You are now the mighty nations of Europe. You have all contributed to me, the European Central Bank. You are now all members of the euro. You are now all of equal worth, equal value. You have the same currency, the euro. You are all the same. That goes in there. And that is the end of that section of the show.